Ai, Tina, Ebeneza, oh, Nesuo, Tiri Munyasha, Shimwe Shai, oh, Pamwe, Asimi Jehovah, Matishiza, Manu, Isu Tina, Ebeneza, oh, Nesuo, Tiri Munyasha, Pamwe Shai, Pamwe Shichiwaza, oh Jehovah, Matishiza Pano. Nasitoti mururuku matenga tine mufaro wakawedzerwa shei munhu wese tambayu munhu wese imbayu iti Jehovha matisvidza pano
pano pakutanga zvinhu zvairema tisingafungire kuti zvichabuda asi Jehovha watisvitsa pano zvakatora nguva zvakatora makore zvakatora siyarangu zvakatora ushingi asi Jehovha watisvitsa pano baba
kuimba mavasesetsa vana venyu munzira izere nemiswa Yesu tasvika pano
hatirwi nenyama kana neropa Jehovha wakatirwira nasi unotoimba Jehovha Jehovha watisvitsa pano
Hallelujah, matisvitsa pano Baba. Hallelujah, matisvitsa pano zviro kwazvo Mwari wangu matisvitsa pano yelele ya yelele Baba wangu taiti zvinorema Baba wangu nemi zvakagoneka yelele ya iyo Hallelujah, hallelujah yelele Hallelujah, hallelujah
daidzira uti Mwari vatigonesa Mwari vatikundisa tinotaura mamwe makore mazhinji kwamuri makore akazara nenyasha norufaro norudo makore akazara norugare nebudiriro tinoti Ebeneza Mwari matisvitsa pano Ebeneza Mwari matigonera Hallelujah.
Glory be unto Jesus. Ay, ay. Ebeneza. Oh, Nesuo. Tiliuyasha. Shimwe shai. Oh, pamwe. Asimi Jehovah. Matishiza. Anu. Isu tino. Ebeneza.
Broadcasting live from the Pokazil studios right here in Harare. This is Sunday edition. Good evening. I'm Juliet Mzenda.
A very good evening to you. I'm Vicky Mlilo. We are on standby to cross over to State House, where President Robert Mugabe is expected to address the nation soon.
In the meantime, we continue with Sunday edition in the headlines. ZANU-PF Central Committee takes a decision to recall the President and First Secretary of ZANU-PF, Comrade Robert Mugabe, and has elected Comrade Emmerson Mnangagwa to a position of Interim President and First Secretary of the party. In Sunbees, National Foods holds a stock feeds exhibition program. And in Sports Buzz, Warriors drawn in Group B of the Sekafa Cup to be hosted by Kenya.
In Science and Technology, we explore scientific methods used to reach conclusive DNA results. And This and That app with boys saving lives in pool of death. And be sure not to miss out on our video of the week. We begin with the main news.
A special session of the ZANU-PF Central Committee met in the capital today and allegedly took a decision to recall the President and First Secretary of ZANU-PF and elected Comrade Emmerson Mnangagwa to a position of Interim President and First Secretary of the party.
Today is the beginning of a new beginning.
Our people, colleagues, are demanding from us gathered here to show leadership and give effect to their demands for the recall of President and First Secretary of ZANU-PF, Comrade R.G. Mugabe, from his position in the party and government.
The unconstitutional removal of Comrade Emmerson Dambudzo Mnangagwa as Vice President and Second Secretary of ZANU-PF, and his expulsion from the party be and is hereby nullified forthwith.
Following members of the G40 cabal be expelled from the party. This is the recommendation which was just read. And I'm going to repeat the names so given. 1, Comrade Grace Mugabe. 2, Comrade Pelegezela Mpoko. 3, Comrade Jonathan Moyo. 4, Comrade Xavier Kasukuwere. 5, Comrade Patrick Joao. 6, Comrade Letina Undenge. 7, Comrade Kuzanai Chipanga. 8, Comrade Walter Mzembi. 9, Comrade Paul Chimedza. 10, Comrade Makosini Hlongwane. 11, Comrade Mandi Chimene. 12, Comrade Shadrach Mashamombe. 13, Comrade Innocent Amandishe. No, this was 8, sorry. 9, Comrade Eunice Sandimoyo. Comrade R.G. Mugabe, that's number 9, was removed from the position of President and First Secretary of ZANU-PF by a unanimous vote. 10, Comrade R.G. Mugabe should resign forthwith from the position of Head of State of Zimbabwe, and in the event that the resignation will not have been tendered by midday 20th November 27th, the ZANU-PF Chief Whip was ordered to institute proceedings for the removal of the President in terms of Section 97 of the Constitution of Zimbabwe, Amendment number 20. I'm reminded here that on number 8, on the names I've just announced, there is a name which should have been included here, and that is Comrade Ignatius Chombo. Eleven, Comrade Pelegezela Mpoko was removed from the position of Vice President and Second Secretary of ZANU-PF for being divisive, a member of the cabal, protecting criminals, preaching hate speech, and behaving in a manner inconsistent with the office and decorum of the office of Vice President. 12, Comrade Grace Mugabe was removed from the position of Secretary for the Women's League of ZANU-PF for promoting hate speech, divisiveness, and assuming roles and powers not delegated to her office. 13, Comrade E.D. Mnangagwa was elected as President and First Secretary of ZANU-PF pending ratification by the Extraordinary Congress scheduled for 12 to 17 December 2017, and was nominated as the party presidential candidate for the 2018 general election.
In order to having faith in us
takaronga kuti kuitwe meeting ino tati chitotya takambotyidzirwa tikadii but zvapera zvakanaka.
So the die is cast, all is over. Ruben Barwe, ZBC News, at the ZANU-PF Central Committee meeting session in Harare.
A school in Chibi North has celebrated new curriculum initiatives which have seen the institution's girls soccer team achieve national accolades.
Zimbabwe's new curriculum has come up with an interesting and innovative way of training young minds. These young minds are from Chichigamakono School in Chibi District, are part of that process, which is emphasizing that the learner has got to go beyond just being an academic product.
At Chichigamakono School in Chibi, accolades were given to pupils who have excelled academically and in sport. The school girls soccer team, who have been national champions for the last 5 years consecutively, were honored.
I am reliably informed that this event is earmarked to reward talent in the fields of 1. Academic, 2. Sports, arts and culture as the third one. It is important to note that education plays a pivotal role in the development of the nation at large.
Giving support to learners must be a priority of not only government, but also other stakeholders such as the private sector, said Mr. Thompson Mtombeni, a representative of the patrons of the girls soccer team.
If you believe in others and give them a positive reputation to uphold, you can help them to become better than they think they are.
Apologies for poor picture quality there. We take a break. We'll be back shortly.
aya matenga malight bulbs ndio ari kupedza magetsi waya kunokuka momzi vakatoti munhu wese ngaashandise macfl nema-led ari kutisevhera magetsi nemari zvekuti tarisai mone riri kunoku andimukuona here iwayaya rinogona kusvika kana 5 years momzi kunozvarwa kamwana kudai kakakura kakaenda kucrash muchingori ne1 bulb kwete nyakanyaka dzamukuti zvimwe munongobvunzowa nabright
baba tarisai muri kundinzwa here chibvai matotenga ma-energy saver light bulbs hanzi ndo anosevha magetsi chaizvo.
Do the bright thing. Switch on to energy saver light bulbs. Save energy and money. Zera for sustainable energy.
Put yourself at ease by laying a foundation for yourself and loved ones' eternal life today. Call your trusted friend, Zororo Memorial Park. We have various affordable grave packages to suit everyone's needs. The executive plan, the family plan, the individual plan. Come to Zororo Memorial Park for respectable burial of your loved ones.
Kungotenga ma-participating products ako kuva mu-Farm City.
Makorokoto mavamawina instant prize.
Watuwana mkana wokuwina imwe mbairo iri kuwinwa ipapo. Wobva wafila maforms ako woisa ma-gold rush buckets unonga watopinda muchirongwa chokuwina goridhe rako rematarakita, mombe, mitututu, ngoro neimwe mbaro yatiinayo. Farm City. Farm City. Tinemi kwese sisonke ndawo zonke.
Time check.
This is the science of tough. Brutal torture tests designed to challenge the Ford Ranger's capability and durability. Built to take on the world, they were thrown in the deep end, driven to the limits, analyzed, and then tested some more. We raised the ante and dropped a few surprises. Get a Ranger 2.2 XL Auto. Visit a Ford dealer today.
The National Arts Council of Zimbabwe brings you Jikinya Dance Festival at Amphitheatre in Bulawayo on the 24th of November 2017 from 09:30 hours. This festival will involve provincial primary school winners in Muchongoyo dance as well as own choice dance. Attendance is absolutely free. Come with family, friends, and colleagues and experience the aura that is cultivated by celebrating unique cultural diversity through dance. It's a moment not to miss in building Zimbabwe through dance. Jikinya Dance Festival is a partnership program between National Arts Council of Zimbabwe and National Association of Primary Heads and is proudly sponsored by Delta Corporation. National Arts Council of Zimbabwe, championing arts development.
A new dawn is on the horizon for Zimbabwe Broadcasting Corporation. We're excited to inform you, our valued clients, that with effect from the 13th of November 2017, you'll be able to buy both household and business radio and television licenses on the new and secure electronic licensing platform, available at all ZBC license offices countrywide. Additional payment centers at designated local authority offices and dealers across the country are being registered to give our key stakeholders convenience. All payment methods will be readily accepted. Be compliant and walk into your nearest ZBC office or agent to buy your radio and television license without any hassles. Pioneers of local content, pioneering ease of doing business in the electronic era.
The municipality of Chinhoyi wishes to thank all those who responded to the call to pay their municipal accounts or make payment plans in order to liquidate outstanding debts. The local authority utilizes these funds to cater for services such as refuse collection, water supply, roads maintenance, stands servicing, street lighting, construction of schools and clinics, and many more. We appeal to the residents and stakeholders to pay their current bills monthly, plus a portion towards arrears to avoid legal action. All those who entered into payment plans with the municipality of Chinhoyi are urged to honor their commitments so that we improve on the quality of services we offer. Council also wishes to thank those who participated in the 2018 pre-budget consultative meetings, and your contributions were incorporated in the crafting of the 2018 budget. Let's pay our bills in time in order to grow our town. Municipality of Chinhoyi, City of Choice by 31 December 2018.
Welcome back to Sunday edition. Chipinge Town Council says it is set to surpass its Zim Asset housing sector target of 2,000 residential stands by 2018 and has called for more partnerships to reduce the housing backlog, currently standing at 8,000 residential stands.
Chipinge set a 3-year Zim Asset target of 2,000 residential stands with efforts to meet the envisaged objective well on course, says Chipinge Town Secretary Ms. Susan Dube. She says a number of residential stands projects, including Osanga Extension, Medium Density Aerodrome and Gaza A, are underway, but the town needs partnerships to urgently clear the backlog, standing at 8,000 stands.
Our Zim Asset target, we have to deliver about 2,000 stands, starting from 2015 up to 2018. And this year alone, we have got 3 projects. We are availing stands in 3 areas.
As the population in Chipinge increases, demand for residential stands will also surge together with the demand for other services that include water, a situation that requires the town authorities
to put plans that cater for the growth. Kenya Sifushi, ZBC News, Chipinge.
3 Bulawayo women appeared in court for allegedly raping a 23-year-old man from Cowdrey Park.
Sandra Ngobe, who is 21 years old, Ria Mokhetsi Mlauzi, who is 23 years, and Mongi Wempof, who is 25, appeared before Regional Magistrate Joseph Mabeza for having intercourse with Kudagwashe Munenga without his consent. According to the state prosecutor Tinashe Tsipe, Munenga visited the girl's residence to request the money that one of them owed him. Upon arrival, one of the accused grabbed the complainant by his waist and dragged him into the room. The accused then held Munenga against the bed whilst the other accused was having intercourse with the victim. The 3 women who are being represented by Abed Nikondebele of Matonsi and Law Chamber said the complainant had intercourse with the accused willingly since he found the women naked. Ndebele said the women only tickled the victim, who ended up agreeing to having intercourse. The accused denied the allegations and the case has been remanded to the 20th of November.
And that's our look at the main news. National Foods showcases its products. Sunbees up next. A local company, National Foods, has held a stock feeds exhibition program with local farmers in the Midlands area of Zishalani.
The exhibition was held to showcase the company's products and services, which livestock farmers have been accessing over the years. The company's representatives say the inspiration is that farmers must enjoy an excellent service delivery through getting excellent services and top-notch products from them.
We are the #1 stock feed for every breed. We make food for chickens, poultry, dairy, pig, you name it.
The farmers say choosing National Foods products and services has guaranteed them maximum returns in their livestock rearing businesses.
Actually, I've got the 300 currently right now, the layers base. They are laying the performing usual numbers for the base. They are laying 280 eggs every day. Every minute kuti adzina yakuita sei yakuzvara
kana tichita zveu kune mavaccines anodiwa nemamwe mavitamins akonga achidiwa.
Besides just selling livestock rearing products, National Foods also offers expert advisory services on how farmers may look after their livestock in areas such as piggery and poultry. Mhlomuli Ncube, ZBC News, Swishavane.
With the rains now upon the country, farmers have been urged to ensure that they use certified seed varieties. The call was made at a field day at Kaja Farm in Vumba, where over 500 farmers gathered for the event.
For farmers has been low yields as a result of using seed varieties that are not certified. Vumba-based farmer Mr. Silas Kaja says such practices ultimately affect productivity in the long run and also eat into the farmers' earnings.
Tenga hybrid. Ngatisiye ima OPV nekuti kufidha kunoita OPV yako ukangofidhawo hybrid kudaro unowana goho rakapetwa kairi katatu pambeu idzodzo. Saka kudhura kweseed hakusi kudhura asi kuti zviri kuenderana negoho rauchadini rauchawana. Handitika topracticeawo ma-agricultural practices akachena.
The country is on a deliberate path to achieve food self-sufficiency, with the Command Agriculture Program bearing testimony to this drive. Tichaona Meza, ZBC News, Vumba.
And that's it. In Sunbees, we take a break. Join us when we return.
Slowdown that was experienced in the first half or the 3 quarters of the year.
So how is the power policy affecting the manufacturing sector?
You will find that there are some structural challenges that we are facing
recession, deflation, and so on. These things in Zimbabwe, we've gone through them. Right now, we've just come out of deflation. And the most critical one is that companies can't survive if they don't adapt to the new environment, is it?
But with the state that we are at, it has shown that we need to also work on generating currency so that we can be self-sufficient.
ZBC TV, the pioneer of local content.
In commercial sex work, and you heard from men and women who are engaging in the trade, telling their stories.
Economy related, when the economic setup or condition is difficult and people do not really have meaningful alternatives, then the women will resort
A new educational institution offering academic excellence. We are a proud STEM and ICT institution. We pride ourselves with state-of-the-art laboratory, experienced teachers, and affordable fees. At Valley Crest Academy, we offer both ZimSec and Cambridge examinations. We are located at number 3435 Masocha Ndlovu Way, Parktown, Waterfalls, Harare. Enrollment for Form 1 to 6 learners is in progress. Contact us on Harare number 660-483 or 660-525 or mobile numbers 0774-122-700 or 0774-122-711. Success at Valley Crest Academy is guaranteed.
Better than farm and city go do. Tawene gold rush farm and win promotion. Tine kwa marama prices are $250,000. Shino sangane sira. Tarakita mombe ngoro nemitutu. Kuva 8 September kushuka musa 97. Aiwa machiki chori chaiyo. Aketa way man. Kuti upende muchirongwa ichi. Tenga ma participating products mu farm city cheta cheta.
Komori mina kupindara. Pakuva. Komadi kutengeko.
Kuna farm city. Tinemi kwese sisonke ndau zonke. Terms and conditions do apply.
Yeah, let's make it a beautiful day.
Don't stop, come alive. Hey guys.
Hey Ted.
How are we doing with that new commercial show that Fanta is omnisensorial?
Omni what?
Meaning Fanta awakens all your senses?
What about a guy who picks up a Fanta and then all of his senses get huge?
He can hear the bubbles.
See the orange colors.
There he is.
I love this idea.
That makes no sense.
Fanta, it makes senses.
Welcome back. The science of DNA results in S&T up next. The deoxyribonucleic acid DNA profile, which is unique in every individual, is essential in proving contentious issues like paternity and one's identity in times of death, with most developed countries using it to solve rape and murder cases. Zimbabwe is now in the process of crafting a DNA evidence bill to pave way for use of such evidence in a court of law. In our science and technology feature, our reporter Tafara Chikumira speaks to Mr. Zefania Dlamini, a molecular geneticist who is the chairman of the Department of Applied Biology and Biochemistry at the National University of Science and Technology.
According to Live Science Dictionary, DNA is a self-replicating material which is present in nearly all living organisms as the main constituent of chromosomes, which is the carrier of genetic information. The process to extract such from individuals is, however, cumbersome.
There are a number of processes that are involved for one to extract a conclusive DNA. What are these? Let's find out.
It can come in different forms. You can have DNA evidence coming in from a forensic analysis where maybe, let's say, the police have found a murder weapon like a knife, it has blood, and the suspect was in possession of that knife. Now we want to link the blood stain on the knife and probably the murdered or the deceased person. So if that DNA, if that sample comes for DNA evidence, we then swab the knife to remove the blood stains from there, and then we get the suspect, sample him for his DNA as well, and then we get a pathologist to give us the blood or some tissue from the deceased person, okay? So we then bring it to the lab here. We take it through a series of tests and analysis, of which the end result is what we call a DNA profile.
According to Mr. Dlamini, the same process done to extract evidence from knives or objects can be done in the laboratories when one needs to come up with a profile, especially useful in paternity tests. In the lab, the attendant extracts reference samples from the tissue like saliva or hair by use of a bicular swab. These are then taken to a polymerized chain reaction for multiplication before they are taken to the genetic analyzer, which produces a copy of a profile.
Human beings share 99.7% of the same DNA. The scientists have to work on the 0.3% to differentiate each individual. But how do they carry the analysis?
This is a series of markers or DNA markers that we test for, which are unique to that particular individual. And it follows a simple basic principle of inheritance, that you inherit half your DNA from your mother and half your DNA from your mother. So all these markers that we analyze occur in pairs, okay? So for instance, if I can show you here on the machine, here is a typical DNA profile. We have tested this individual at 21 different sites, okay? So at this particular site, this person's DNA is 1214, okay? What it means is that he got a 12 from the mother and maybe a 14 from the father, okay? So we test at all these different positions. At this particular position, this individual has DNA which we call 20 and another marker which we call 22. So when you combine all these markers and say this individual is 12, 14, 28, 30, and if we were to write that number as one continuous number, there is no way you can have two people with the same order of these markers or these alleles.
Previous studies have shown that there are some markers that are synonymous with a particular race, with the National University of Science and Technology now carrying out a study that narrows to ethnic markers for easy identification. Tafara Chikumira, ZBC News, Bulawayo.
And from Science and Technology, we take a break to stay with us.
Is here. Oh my God!
Now available for all Kwese subscribers. Download the Kwese TV app on your smartphone or tablet and enjoy the best African and international entertainment on the go. Wherever, whenever. It's that easy.
I want to give myself a good treat today.
Go ahead and give yourself a treat. Download the Kwese TV app today. Kwese Beyond TV.
Fanta, it makes senses.
Mary and I are twins.
Morning, girls. Wakey, wakey.
Mama says we must care for each other.
Oh, your hat. Have a good day.
Here's some mapuzi. That's my son. But some people are mean to us. I don't know why.
Number 1.
Mama says I should sit at the front of the class so I can see easily. But some people don't understand us.
Who are you talking? Go and sit at the back.
No, I can't see well. Mama says everyone should be treated the same, but some people think we are different. Mama says we must help our friends when they get hurt. But sometimes their parents don't want us to help. No, just time to help. He just hurt his leg. Mama says that life is hard, so we must look out for each other. She says everyone can change. We all have our strengths and weaknesses. We are no different.
People with albinism are not inferior or less deserving. See beyond their skin and say no to stigmatization.
Chicken slice, 100% real chicken, no GMO.
Delicious slice of the day.
By now, we all know that there's nothing that beats the quality of Lafarge cement. As part of the Lafarge Quality Challenge, we asked local cement users to test our cement against other cements on the market. Under the supervision of independent research and development scientists, we cast 2 batches of concrete bricks. Batch A was made with Lafarge Portland 32.5R cement, whilst Batch B was made with a competitor brand in the same strength class. Next up, we asked our group of cement users to test the strength of the unmarked bricks by performing the drop test 48 hours after the bricks were made. We then asked the cement users which cement they'd prefer for structural applications.
Batch A cement is strong.
The quality of Batch A cement is very good.
Obviously, I would use the strongest brick, which is Batch A.
And there you have it. Nothing delivers quality and strength like Lafarge cement. Lafarge cement. Tried and trusted strength.
Together we build, together we build, together we build.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the daring and invincible Louis, the loudest and the fastest pest in all the land. Nothing can get to him.
Presenting Mortine Power Guard Ultra Fast. Its unique formula starts to kill in seconds. Mortine Power Guard Ultra Fast. Nothing kills faster.
The Zimbabwe Manpower Development Fund wishes A-level STEM students success in their exams. We are pleased to advise all stakeholders that we have finished paying tuition and boarding fees for all the 10,645 STEM students, and also examination fees for the 4,941 exam class students. With STEM, your future is bright.
This message is brought to you by the Zimbabwe Manpower Development Fund. ZimDev, your partner in human capital development.
Do this.
I'm not afraid of you.
You will be an example to the world.
Don't go down right now.
I'm really proud of you.
The home of the best African and international sports and entertainment.
Thank you and good night.
Kwese, Beyond TV.
This is still Sunday edition. Warriors in tricky Sekafa draw. Sports Buzz up next. The Zimbabwe national soccer team has been drawn in Group B of the Sekafa Cup to be hosted by Kenya.
The Eastern Central African tournament gets underway on the 3rd of next month, and Zimbabwe have been placed in Group B. Zimbabwe will be a guest team alongside Libya following the withdrawal of Eritrea, Djibouti and Sudan. The Warriors will face Uganda, South Sudan, Burundi and Ethiopia in the group encounters. Zimbabwe's campaign starts with a clash against Uganda on the 4th of December before facing South Sudan 2 days later. Zimbabwe then clash with Burundi on the 8th before concluding their group matches with a tie against Ethiopia. Sunday Chidzamba will be taking charge of the Zimbabwean team to travel to Kenya after leading the Warriors to a 5th COSAFA crown in July. Host Kenya will face Rwanda, Tanzania, Zanzibar and Libya in Group A. The Warriors squad to compete in Kenya is expected to be named soon and assemble for camp after the end of the PSL season. The last round of domestic premiership matches will be this coming weekend. Francis Nyamtsamba, ZBC News, Harare.
Former Zimbabwe cricket team player and ZC convener selector Tatenda Taibu has emphasized the significance of the under-19 cricket team in laying a solid foundation for a prosperous future.
It was a happy mood for the Zimbabwe under-19 cricket team selected to represent the country at the 2019 Junior Cricket World Cup after being treated to a dinner ahead of their trip to New Zealand. Former Zimbabwe cricket team player and ZC convener of selectors Tatenda Taibu, who was the guest of honor, said formidable under-19 sides are vital in laying a good platform for the future.
This is a start for the young boys that are inside, so I'm sure they'll be, they'll go on to represent their national team and do well.
Taibu was also satisfied with the resources availed in preparing the team for the World Tourney.
All the years before, when the guys have represented Zimbabwe in the Under-19 World Cup, we haven't really had good preparations when we then compared ourselves with the other countries, and so we try to cover that this time around, and to make sure that they play enough matches and in different conditions and against the guys that they're going to play against.
Zimbabwe was drawn in Group B and will face Australia, India and Papua New Guinea. The young Chevrons kickstart their campaign with a clash against Papua New Guinea. Francis Nyamtsamba, ZBC News, Harare.
The government has been urged to assist in the development of technical personnel in sport at grassroots level to improve the quality of sport.
While sport has found sponsors at grassroots level, the technical aspect has remained amateurish due to lack of trained officials. Goromon's Rural District Council Ward 22 Councillor Mrs. Joyce Chiroza, who sponsors a soccer and netball tournament in a ward, says the cost of training technical officials is beyond the reach of many grassroots sponsors, yet they are critical in the development of sport.
Chikumbiro chedu kuhurumende kuti vatibatsirewo pamusoro pekutrainwa kwema-umpire netball nema-referee football. Hurumende ipindire kana dai zvaibvira vatitirewo zviri mutengo uri pasi kana kuti vongotibatsirawo sehurumende kuti vanhu ava vange vachitrainwa.
The tournament saw 11 teams fighting for honors in soccer, while 4 teams participated in netball. Winning teams got trophies and prize money. Gerald Sasa, ZBC News, Bromley.
And that's our update of sport in Sports Buzz. We take a break. Stay with us.
One Monday, it's one time to be that money with next one. Gashira pay yako, shoppa ngayo gonke, batara ne mitero. It's one time, mabiri ne marketi, kutenga airtime, kutumira airtime. It's one time, one month. One Monday, with next one. One Monday, batara jase. Kugashira mari, kutumira mari, tena ngayo. It's one time, batara renti yako, kana school fees, ipo pama toke. It's one time, one money, one money, one money, oh one money, tumeli mali yako. One money, when that's one money, it's one time.
Send and receive, pay and get paid with One Money from Net1. It's one time.
This is Tendai. Tendai is a family man and he loves his wife. Tendai is also a teacher, a very good teacher. Besides all these good things about Tendai, he's always late to work. What Tendai doesn't know is he's never going to be late ever again. Introducing Creative Auto. Creative Auto allows you to buy your car on credit. Yes, that's right. This is an amazing opportunity for civil servants to get their dream car on credit. With full comprehensive insurance cover for 3 years, full credit life loan insurance cover, change of ownership costs, registration and number plates, one-term vehicle license, one-term radio license, optional extra cover plus service. Bring your ID, payslip and proof of employment, 3 months bank statement, passport size photos, and we will begin the process to make your dream come true. With only $800 deposit, that vehicle is all yours with 36 months to pay. Now Tendai will be on time for work and other things too. Creative Auto, driven to make your dream happen.
The Zimbabwe Manpower Development Fund wishes A-level STEM students success in their exams. We are pleased to advise all stakeholders that we have finished paying tuition and boarding fees for all the 10,645 STEM students, and also examination fees for the 4,941 exam class students. With STEM, your future is bright.
This message is brought to you by the Zimbabwe Manpower Development Fund. ZimDef, your partner in human capital development.
It's one time to be somebody when there's one. Gashira pay yako shopa ngayo gonke badala nemitero. It's one time mapiri le marketi kutenga airtime kutumira airtime. It's one time one man when there's one Monday badala sase kugashira mali kutumira mali tena ngayo. It's one time badala retiyako kana school ipo kama choke. It's one time one Monday oh one Monday too many mali yako one Monday when there's one Monday. It's one time.
Send and receive, pay and get paid with one money from Net1. It's one time.
Thank you for staying with us here on Sunday edition. We are still on standby to cross over to State House, where President Robert Mugabe is expected to address the nation. Dicing with death in the pool of death. This and that, up next. For many, sea diving is for trained professionals, but for a group of Epworth boys, it is just a hobby in the so-called pool of death found in the sprawling high-density area.
For many years, the pool of death in Epworth has claimed many lives, and there seems to be no solution to keep the dead. Dangerous as it appears, a group of Epworth boys have, however, turned the death den to the pool of Bethsaida, where many suicide missions are saved. Asked for clarity on how they save souls, the boys gave a demonstration that proved indeed they are lifesavers. 17-year-olds Tafazwa Jack, Nyaspa Kuvea, Nyson Kanyoka and Simon Bowling demonstrated their prowess in swimming and diving, adding that they have saved a number of people who tried to commit suicide by jumping into the pool. Speaking to ZBC News, the boys explained how they ended attaining the title of lifesavers in the community.
Sometimes vantomboyawo vanobvawo kudzimweyo vanotouyawo vachitombotipawo mari chitombowaradzawo topinda mumvura.
Some Epworth residents confirmed that the team is doing a fantastic job in saving lives.
Ichokwadi changu chikuti vanhu vakomana vanopinda mudhemu vachibudiswa nekuti zvakatomboitika ndiri kuno mukadzi akawira ndakamuna achibudiswa.
Vakomana vanobatsira vanhu vanonga vavirwa nematambudziko padhemu apo vachinyurura vanhu kuvabatsira.
Meanwhile, the team says their dream is to become a professional lifesavers.
This and that. Now, entertainment highlights from the past week in showbiz. The popular Radio Zimbabwe roadshow was in the eastern border district of Mudzi in Mashonaland East, which attracted thousands of people.
Although its name is Radio Zimbabwe, the ZBC's biggest radio station showed that it has followers beyond the country's borders as people from across Mozambique joined locals at the Kotwa Road show.
Ini program yanofara pa Radio Zimbabwe zvemitambo nekuerenga kwemabhuku. Ene vanhu mbakomedo na Radio Zimbabwe na uri imba ndichitira zvense bvanibafuna na ntima wangu.
Radio station is not only bringing entertainment but has also boosted business to locals who maximize on the large gatherings.
Tinotenda veRadio Zimbabwe kuya kwavaita business vadzoke futi.
Radio Zimbabwe yatunzira business tiri kufara dai wakadzoka futi kudarika Christmas Day chaiyo.
Radio Zimbabwe station manager Mr. Albert Chekai says the station has continued to dominate with 5 of its DJs now among the top 10 most popular DJs in the country.
I can safely say if a survey was to be run today, I would say 8 over 10 will be found at Urias, which is Radio Zimbabwe.
The people had the chance to interact and see their favorite radio personalities and also listen to some music from local musicians. Gerald ZBC News, Kotwa.
We now go live for breaking news and cross over to State House for President Robert Mugabe's address to the nation. And Wadzanai Mombera joins us with the latest. But in the meantime, although the festive season is around the corner, the past week was characterized by few musical shows around the capital city.
Increase or decrease the chance of getting breast cancer.
Cancer is a disease of the cells. So when we're saying cells, we break.
Sunday, the 19th of November 2017. Hello and welcome to President Robert Mugabe's address to the nation at State House. My name is Wadzanai Mombera. Mthakazomuhlesa kwamukela kumbiko oqhakathekileyo ovela kumongameli Comrade Robert Mugabe. Manero akanaka muri Zimbabwe tinokuchingamidzayi kumashoko anokhosha kubva kumtungamiri wenyika. So sit back, relax and join us as we follow proceedings here at State House.
Okay. This is my paper. This is all my journalist. Ready? Okay. Fellow Zimbabweans, I address you tonight on the back of a meeting I held today with the nation's Security Forces Command element. This meeting, which was facilitated by a mediating team led by Father Fidelis Mkonori S.J. of the Catholic Church, followed an operation mounted by the Zimbabwe Defense Forces in the week that has gone by, and which was triggered by concerns arising from their reading of the state of affairs in our country and in the ruling ZANU-PF party. Whatever the pros and cons of the way they went about registering those concerns, I, as the President of Zimbabwe and as their Commander-in-Chief, do acknowledge the issues they have drawn my attention to, and do believe that these were raised in the spirit of honesty and out of deep and patriotic concern for the stability of our nation and for the welfare of our people. As I address you, I'm also aware of a whole range of concerns which has come from you all as citizens of our great country, and who thus deserve our untrammeled attention. Today's meeting with the command element has underscored the need for us to collectively start processes that return our nation to normalcy, so all our people can go about their business unhindered in an environment of perfect peace and security, assured that law and order obtain and prevail as before, and endure well into the future. If there is any one observation we have made and drawn from events of the past week, it is the unshakable pedestal upon which rests our state of peace, law and order, amply indicating that as Zimbabweans, we are generally a peaceably disposed people, and with a givenness to expressing our grievances and to resolving our differences by ourselves, and with a level of dignity, discipline, and restraint so rare to many other nations. This is to be admired. Indeed, such traits must form the pith of our national character and personality. Yes, a veritable resource we summon and draw upon in times of vicissitudes. The operation I have alluded to did not amount to a threat to our well-cherished constitutional order, nor was it a challenge to my authority as head of state and government, not even as Commander-in-Chief of the Zimbabwe Defense Forces. To the man, the command element remained respectful and comported with the dictates and mores of constitutionalism. True, a few incidents may have occurred here and there, but these are being corrected. I'm happy that throughout the short period, the pillars of state remained functional. Even happier for me, and arising from today's meeting is a strong sense of collegiality and comradeship, now binding the various arms of our security establishment. This should redound to greater peace and offer an abiding sense of security in communities and in our entire nation. Among the issues discussed is that relating to our economy, which, as we all know, is going through a difficult patch. Our great concern to that guide the operations of all its organs. No, that jump. Of greater concern, may I read this again? I beg your pardon. Of greater concern to our commanders are the well-founded fears that the lack of unity and commonness of purpose in both party and government was translating into perceptions of inattentiveness to the economy. Open public spurts between high-ranking officials in the party and government, exacerbated by multiple conflicting messages from both the party and government, made the criticisms leveled against us inescapable. Amidst all this, flagship projects already adopted by government stood stalled or mired in needless controversies. All this now has to stop as we inaugurate a new work culture and pace which will show a strong sense of purpose and commitment to turning around our economy in terms of our policies. Zimasit government remains committed to improving the social and material conditions of the people. Government will soon unveil an entrepreneurial skills and business development program which will empower and unleash gainful projects at our growth points and rural areas. Fellow Zimbabweans, we are a nation born out of a protracted struggle for national independence. Our roots lie in that epochal struggle whose goals and ideals must guide our present and structure our future. The tradition of resistance is our collective legacy, whose core tenets must be subscribed by all across generations and across times. Indeed, this too was a great concern for our commanders, who themselves were makers of that revolution, and often at very tender ages and at great personal peril. We still have in our various communities veterans of that founding struggle, who might have found the prevailing management of national and party issues quite alienating. This must be corrected without delay, including ensuring that these veterans continue to play central roles in the lives of our nation. We must all recognize that their participation in the war of liberation exacted lifelong costs, which, whilst hardly repayable, may still be assuaged and ameliorated. In respect of the party and the party issues raised both by the commanders and by the general membership of ZANU-PF, there too stand acknowledged. These two stand acknowledged. They have to be attended to with a great sense of urgency. However, I am aware that as a party of liberation, ZANU-PF has over the years written elaborate rules and procedures that guide the operations of all its organs and personnel. Indeed, the current criticism raised against the command element, raised against it by the command element and some of its members have arisen from a well-founded perception that the party was stretching or even failing in its own rules and procedures. The way forward, thus, cannot be based on swapping, vying cliques that ride roughshod over party rules and procedures. There has to be a net return to the guiding principles of our party as enshrined in its constitution, which must apply fairly and equitably in all situations and before all members. The era of victimization and arbitrary decisions must be put behind, so as we all embrace a new ethos predicated on the supreme law of our party and nourished by an abiding sense of camaraderie. to all this must be a general recognition that ZANU-PF is a party of traditions and has been served by successive generations who are bound together by shared ideals and values which must continue to reign supreme in our nation. Hints of intergeneration conflict must be resolved through a harmonized melding of old established players as they embrace and welcome new rules, new ones through a well-defined sense of hierarchy and succession. Indeed, all these matters will be discussed and settled at the forthcoming Congress within the framework of a clear roadmap that seeks to resolve once and for all any omissions or contradictions that have affected our party negatively. The Congress is due in a few weeks from now. I will preside over its processes, which must not be prepossessed by any acts calculated to undermine it or to compromise the outcomes in the eyes of the public. As I conclude this address, I am aware that many developments have occurred in the party or have been championed and done by individuals in the name of the party. Given the failings of the past and the anger these might have triggered in some quarters, such developments are quite understandable. However, we cannot be guided by bitterness or vengefulness, both of which would not make us any better party members or any better Zimbabweans. Our hallowed policy of reconciliation, which we pronounced in 1980, and through which we reached out to those who had occupied and oppressed us for nearly a century, and those we had traded fire with in a bitter war, surely cannot be unavailable to our own, both in the party and in our nation. We must learn to forgive and resolve contradictions, real or perceived, in a comradely Zimbabwean spirit. I am confident that from tonight, our whole nation at all levels gets refocused as we put shoulder to the wheel amidst the promising agricultural season already upon us. Let us all move forward, reminding ourselves of our wartime mantra. Iwe neni tinebasa. I thank you and good night. Sorry, one or two places. I hope we can correct that. It's a long speech. Tatenda. Asante sana. Siyabonga. Okay, thanks.
That was an address to the nation by President Robert Mugabe at State House. Thank you for having joined us. Just leaves me to thank you for having joined us. From myself, Wadzanai Mombera, the entire technical and production crew. Now take you back to our Pocket Zoo studios, present viewing on ZBC TV.